You've been defeated long enough and mistreated long enough. Queen, it's time to stand up. Queen, it's time to get up. Queen, it's time to rise. Queen, rise up.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Queens, rise up. You know how we do. This is Queen Rise Up Women Empowerment. What we do around here, we empower who, you, that woman, to do what? To know her worth and her value. Queen, we meet here Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on Queen Rise Up. What we do, we keep it real, we keep it raw. Come on, we keep it rooted in the things of God, and that's real talk. Thank you for following me. Listen over on YouTube, Facebook. I appreciate you. I am also on Instagram and TikTok, so make sure you follow me, and sometimes on Twitter. So make sure you follow me over there, because I know great things are to come. Expecting great things to present itself here with Queen Rise Up. So make sure you register. Today, I just want to say this to you. I just want to say thank you for those who have supported. Thank you for those who have gave. Thank you for those who have sown. If you're with me today, if you're with me and you've been with Queen Rise Up, you've been tagged in, you've been on the table. Come on, you've been giving your fruits, you've been sharing your ministries, real talk, whether you believe it or not. Do you hear me? Make sure you are sowing seed into the ground. How about that? And that's real talk today. You've been moved, you've been edified, you've been empowered, you've been encouraged, and this is real talk today. Can I say it? Make sure you're sowing on the ground that you're plowing in. Listen, that you're eating on. That's real talk. Because sometimes we'll take, but sometimes we don't give. We just take. I mean, we come here, we share, but never giving to the seed or to the ground that you are being built in. And so that's just my words to you, because whatever you sow, that shall you also reap. And that's real talk. Can I tell you? And that's real talk. Can I just say that? So listen, you can also give, if you desire to, through, let me see if I can find it, because here I go. Through Cash App and or PayPal. No, this ain't Begaboo season. This is just my season. Can I say it? Let me say it again. This is not Begaboo season. This is just my season. And let me tell you something. If you don't open up your mouth and cry out loud, listen to me, a closed mouth will never get fed. That's what Mama always taught me. So make sure you are giving in the grounds, whether it's one time, two times, $1, $5. Just make sure you're sowing into the ground. No, it's not Begaboo season, Queen. It's just my time. Can I tell you? Because your time will come. I promise you. Whether it's in a business, whether it's in a ministry, whether it's in the things that you do just in your ordinary life, your time will come. That's real talk this morning. So if you're with me this morning, go ahead and sow. You do Zelle. That's the email for PayPal. That's the email for Zelle. Because what happens is when you really start understanding who you are, you will stand boldly and unafraid in the things of God that God says concerning you. So if you're up with me this morning, and you know what I didn't make you scatter, I ain't make you run. Listen to me. I just want you to get up this morning and declare and decree what God says concerning you. And that is real talk. Can I say it? Open up your mouth and begin to cry out loud. You start prophesying to your own in your own life. You start speaking to your own places in life. Can I say it with your mouth? Because life and death is in the power of your tongue. So get up and make your declarations and decrees this morning. Good morning, Queens. It's real talk around here this morning, because let me share something with you. We all going to have a moment and a time when it's going to be your season. It's going to be your time. It's going to be your opportunity. And you're going to have to learn how to take what is yours and take your opportunity. Can I tell you? And you, after a while, when you realize that you are who God says you are, you can do what God says you can do. You are the head and not the tail. Come on. You will start walking in your boldness. You'll start walking in, come on, the confidence of Christ. You won't be afraid to open up your mouth and cry out loud. This real talk to somebody, because some of you right now, because you don't know who you are, or maybe you do, but you're not operating in whose you are or who you are, and that's real talk. But so let's make our declarations and our decrees over your life this morning, and declare this morning that I am who God says I am. I can do what God says I can do. I am the head and not the tail. I am above and not beneath. Come on. I am more than a conqueror. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I am confident. I am bold. I am courageous. I am loved. I am beautiful. I need y'all to get up this morning. Whoa, listen. I am transforming. My mind is being renewed. And this is real talk this morning. The more you keep on saying who and what God says you are, the more and more you'll start executing in the things of God, because you realize what you're saying is not by sight. Because sometimes you don't feel like the head. Sometimes you feel like a nut. Can I tell you, sometimes you don't feel like, and this is real talk, because when this life is not about your feelings, it is about faith. Can I tell you, not by sight, but by faith. So by faith, you are saying, my way is already made prosperous. By faith, you are saying, whoa, you are making those decrees over your life. By faith, you are saying, I am wealthy. By faith, you are saying, I am healthy. Come on this morning, real talk this morning. Do you hear me? And this is real talk. Open up your mouth. Good morning, Queens. I am the beloved. Can I say it? Listen, real talk. Can I say it this morning? When you're listen, it is up to you, because life and death is in the power of your tongue. What you say do matter. What you say has influence, can I tell you, to change and even to shift things in your atmosphere and even in your own personal life. Good morning, Barbara. I appreciate you, Queen. Do you hear me? I appreciate you. Good morning. My goodness. But this morning we're just talking about walking in. Good morning, Benita, who God says you are. Walking in. Come on, walking that thing out. Not being afraid. Being confident in who God says you are. If you're more than a conqueror, get up and act like you're winning. And that's real talk this morning. If you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you, come on, what you gonna do this morning? Are you gonna stay on the sideline? Are you gonna pick up your mantle and move? Can I say it? Listen to me, because it's enough. Just listen to me. Taking what you got and using it. Being intentional about your life. This real talk this morning. Listen to me. Matter of fact, being intentional about your life. Can I say it? Being intentional about the moves you make. Being focused. Come on who? Come on, I am purpose driven. Come on. This is your best season. And this is real talk. Matter of fact, one of the queens said, listen, I am living my best life. And let me tell you, to live your best life, that means you have to be intentional about what you want, where you going, how you're going to get it. This is real talk. Can I say it? Listen, you got to be intentional, focused, determined. Come on, listen to me. Real talk. Not allowing your hang-ups to hang you up. No, those are just circumstances in life. But you want to live your best life. I don't know about you, but be intentional when you get up in the morning, what you speak over your life. What types of words or affirmation are you making even over your children's life? What are you saying over your money? What is you saying over your mind? What are you saying over your health? I'm going to help somebody today. Somebody say, I got to be intentional. Listen to me, whatever that thing is in your life. Listen, what about your ministry? What about your business? Be intentional about that thing in your life. Can I just say it today? And that is real talk. Be intentional. In this season, I am confident, I am bold, I am attractive, I am beautiful, I am whole, I am healthy, I am rich. Whoa, listen, come on, listen, I am sound. Come on, confident and bold. Listen, this is real talk. Good morning, Jocelyn. Good morning, Queen. Make sure you are affirming yourself on who God says you are this morning. Let me tell you something. I can prophesy to you all day. Even if I prophesy, it's not until you believe it. Let me have a sip this morning. I can tell you this morning, you are beautiful. You are amazing. Come on. You are the head and not the tail. You are that of a royal priesthood. Come on. You are the salt of the earth. But until you believe that, man, nothing comes alive. I want y'all to listen to me today. Do you believe that you are a winner? Do you believe that the way for you is already made? I need you to get up this morning. Do you believe that that thing has already been established? If you believe that it's already been established concerning you, what God says about you, decree it. Come on this morning. Do you hear me? Because he says if you decree a thing, it shall be established. In other words, it's already done. Did you hear me? It's already done. Let me do this. I think about the woman with the issue of blood. I thought about the man again, about they took him on the roof to be healed because he was paralyzed. Let me tell you something. They were intentional about what they wanted. They knew what they wanted. Sometimes they went different ways. The one with the issue of blood, she went to the physicians. At least she went. Can I tell you, she had still enough faith to keep on going. She had enough faith to use her last. But listen to me. She said, but if I can just touch the hem of his garment, listen, I know I'll be made whole. You got to be be intentional. What you trying to touch this morning? What are you trying to reach this morning? What are you after? Can I just say that this morning? What is your intentions? Oh, let's get over here. Listen to me. Come on, come on. It is already done. We're walking into places that are all time has already it has already been fulfilled. Just walking into the manifestation of what's already, and that's real talk. Because if you don't start walking in your victory like you won, let me tell you, you will stay looking this on. Listen, y'all, you know how long I stay at the altar talking about kumbaya, kumbaya. He was like, I done came and went, and you go again, kumbaya. I done came and went. Chantel, get up. Kumbaya, kumbaya. Listen to what? You know what? You better learn how to get up. You better learn how to fight. I done came through here. You stay here how many years? Doing what? Doing this, doing it like that. I'm at no. It's already done. You've already won. You are not bound. You're free. Wait a minute, God, hold it. So what made me stay there that long? Faith. The lack of faith. I'm gonna help you. The pain overrode the faith or what God was saying. I'm telling you, real talk. I'm gonna help somebody. You got to be intentional, queens. This is real talk. Come on, listen. You got to be intentional about walking in your purpose. And Josh, let me say this: when you know that you have purpose, and you know, come on, be intentional and make sure you connect it. Make sure you're getting what you need in the purpose. Come on, I'm gonna help somebody this morning. Listen, when I finally got up on my feet, Jocelyn, can I just speak to you for a minute, queen? I realized that, okay, God, I got authority and I got power, but I don't know how to use it. Let me have a sip this morning. I'm going to help somebody. I got the things that I need. I got the tools that I need, but I don't know how to use what I have. Hold it. Why did I stay there that long? Whoa! Because listen, either you were afraid or just didn't know how to use your authority and didn't know how to use your power, baby. I'm going to help somebody. You got to be intentional about your purpose. Do you hear me? Even living your best life. That's real talk today. I'm coming this way because, oh, listen. Not knowing how to use the authority and not knowing how to use the power, not knowing how to navigate in the spiritual realm, not knowing that when you speak, you are prophesying to dry bones, not knowing that the powers and the principalities, listen to me, they got to back up. I'm going to help somebody this morning because you got to be intentional about what you want. Can I say, when you get sick and tired of being sick and tired, enough is enough. I don't want to be on that side of the fence. I want to stand in my rightful position. So what began to happen, queens, let me just share this with you. I can. Going through the fight, going through the struggle, going through the battle, I was more fighting with myself than I was with the circumstance. Don't y'all start now fighting with the circumstances versus fighting myself versus fighting what with the powers and the principalities that were coming up against me. I was self-sabotaging my own thoughts, my own mind. Oh, don't you start now. Security in the room today. Do you hear me? Because we don't know how to use what we have. Look. Or you got it and don't know how to execute it. Be intentional. Because I'm going to read, so let me lock and load Psalms 139, starting at verse 13. Listen, he was intentional when he made you. God intentionally made you. Listen, he says, listen, for you created my most inner being. Good morning, queen. You created my most innermost being. You knit me together in my mother's womb. He was intentional about the knit. He was intentional about you. So be intentional about your life. Do you hear me this morning? He says, listen, he said, I praise you because why? I'm fearfully. Oh, he was intentional, wonderfully. Oh, made. Don't start none. Whoa! He says, I know that full well. I'm in Psalms 139. Queens, if you don't know who you are, you will keep accepting the unacceptable. I promise you. But when you understand your worth, you understand your value, you will start walking in your boldness and your confidence in the things that God says concerning you. He was intentional when he made you, queen. Listen to me. You were created, for you created my most most being. Beautiful. He knitted you together in your mother's womb. Beautiful. He said, listen to me, you are fearfully and wonderfully made. I need you to get up this morning. We're being intentional this morning. Can I tell you, speaking to them old dry bones, come on, listen to me, to that place that, come on, where there has been a drought in your life. God says, I'm going to water it. I'm going to refresh it. Listen to me, when I get done with you, they won't even recognize who you are, because this rising up is going to be from the inside out, not just from the outside in. He says, listen, my frame was not hidden from you. Girl, what's your frame? Don't start none. Let me tell you something. Here we go. Come on this morning. You were intentionally made, queens. You were made on purpose. You were made, come on, with purpose. You were knit on purpose. You were formed on purpose. Your frame was on purpose. Don't y'all start nothing with me this morning. Come on, listen. He says, matter of fact, oh, Lord God, listen. He says, when I was woven together in the depths of the earth, he says, listen. He says, your eyes saw me even unformed, and all the days ordained for me were written in the book before one of them came to be. Queens, before you were even existing in your mother's womb, Queen, can I tell you, he was intentional about you, your personality, your gifts, your talents. This is real talk this morning. God is intentional about you. Your health, he's intentional about your success. He's intentional. This real talk this morning. He's intentional. What he thinks about you. You are the apple of his eye. Are you being intentional about what you want? Good morning, Queen. Are you being intentional about how you're going to live your best life? Are you intentional how you're going to take care of, listen, the body that was given to you, knit for you, fearfully and wonderfully made? You got to be intentional in this season. Do you hear me? You get up on purpose, you get up with purpose, and you operate like you're working and operating in purpose. And that's real talk. Psalms 139, Queen. He said, I created you in the innermost being and knitted you in your mother's womb. He said, when I made you that you were fearfully and wonderfully made. He says, listen, your frame, I already knew how you was built. Don't start none, won't be none. Do you hear me this morning? He thought highly of you. You're beautiful. You are amazing. You are strong. You are confident. You are victorious. You are bold. You are righteous. Whoa! You are in your psalm. Let me help somebody this morning. He says, listen, the plans that I have for you. He was so intentional about you, Queen. I have plans for you. And these plans that I have, I need y'all to do a spot check. They're not evil. I need you to do a spot check. But they're peaceful and an expected end. He was intentional about you. Did you hear me this morning? Do you believe? Because there's one thing that I can do. I can prophesy, speak over your life. But until you take that stand, do you believe? Some of us need the Lord forgive me for not knowing or believing that I'm the head and not the tail. Forgive me, Lord, for accepting the unacceptable. Forgive me, Lord, for not standing up to who you say I am. Real talk. Forgive me, Lord, for allowing my vehicle, my body, which is the temple of the Holy Ghost, to go in such dramatic, oh, come on, don't start now, changes. Forgive me for not loving me. Let me have a sip this morning. Come on. 29 and 11. I got plans for you. Don't start nothing this morning. Man, you tell me you got plans for me, I'm going to start packing my bags and I'm going to start working on what I need to work on so I can get up out of here. Did you hear me? He has plans for you. Good morning, Queen. And he knows the plans. Good morning, Queens. Come on, real talk. I know the plans. You got to be intentional that I have for you. God was intentional about you, Queen. Do you hear me this morning? Declares the Lord. Whoa! But do you believe? Because, listen to me. He says, listen, let me just read into your spirit this morning. For I know the plans. Oh, he's intentional. Can you hear me? I know the plans that I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you. Now, these ain't words out of my mouth. I'm just speaking what he has already stated and declared concerning you. If you don't know, now you know. Listen, real talk. For I know the plans that I have for you, declares the Lord. Come on, I need you to open up your mouth. Plans to what? To prosper me. To what? Oh, not to harm me. Plans to give me a hope and a future. Y'all better do a check around you. Plans to prosper you, not to harm you. Let me tell you something. You better get up out of harm's way, baby. You better start building up from the inside out so you can listen to me. Come on, because there's a plan for you. Wait a minute. There's a plan to do what? Yep. To prosper you and not to harm you. I need y'all to get up this morning. Somebody in this room right now, he's liberating your mind. If you start thinking on what God thinks and how he thinks about you, I promise you, them strongholds will come down. They'll come down. The way that you've been thinking based on how you've been projected against. God is Love, Queens. He's love. He is love. Do you hear me? Stood at that altar for years, weeping, crying, wondering, woe, why is me? Excuse me. Sip. Took all the damage, took all that mental, emotional, psychological. Holy. Not on my watch. Whoa, listen. Start walking and using my authority. Hold it. That's a plan. Hold it. That's a plan for me. Hold it. There's a plan. Declares the Lord for you. Check your surroundings. Queen, he formed you in your mother's womb. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. And sometimes we are not treated or no one responds to positively in moments and times of our lives. But it's up to you to respond to your beauty, your intelligence, your business mind. You got to be intentional about you. God told Ezekiel, speak to them. You speak to them dry bones. You speak to them dry bones. Had power and authority, Queens, but didn't know how to use what I had. Did you hear me? So because I did not know how to use what I was given, authority and power, I stayed in places too long. Learned a lot. Experience is your best teacher. Thank you, Lord. However, you had to learn how to tap into the power that's in authority that's inside of you. That he said, I've given unto you. And sometimes we have to use basic steps in life in order to use the authority and the power to learn how to use it. Simplify it. Don't start now with me. Simplify it. Simplify your authority. Simplify your power. Are you disciplined? Oh, let me help somebody today. Don't go deep. Can you get to work on time? Oh, let me have a sip this morning. It's real talk. Do you manage this well, or do we need some more discipline? Listen. This one here is about being in. Come on, real talk. Use your basic. No, don't go deep. Don't go deep. Are you in circumstances that you know you should not? Don't go deep. Are you living a life that represents who God says you are as the salt of the earth? Don't go deep. Are you in that relationship? Let me have a sip this morning. It's real talk this morning, because you got to be intentional in this season. Real talk. Are you still just baby's mama? Oops, let me just do it real to you. Oops. Are you somebody's mistress? You're going to have to be intentional about this one, Queen. Let me have a sip this morning. Real deep. Woo! Are you connected to something that don't belong to you? Do you know your worth? Do you know your value? Do you know there's a plan to prosper you? I'm going to help somebody this morning. We're talking about being intentional, because we're talking about living our best life. Let me have a sip this morning. Are you still setting for less than who God says you are? You got to be intentional in this season. And everybody's intentions is different and everywhere in this room. From your jobs, to your businesses, to your family, to your marriages, to your relationships, to your... Ooh. Everybody's in different places. Getting up on time. Making sure your establishment around you is looking decent. Let me have a sip this morning. Let's be intentional. Uh-oh. Because sometimes we keep thinking it's just like these one little areas of our life. Oh, mama, I'm going to be great. I'm going to be prosperous. No, you need to be intentional about the things in your life that are not in alignment to what God says. This is real talk this morning. Be intentional, focusing on being, in your happy, your peace, your joy, your sound mind. It sounds selfish, don't it? But realize that this thing starts with you, but it's not about you. Be intentional. Queen, you're fearfully and wonderfully made. Where you don't have to accept the unacceptable. If you even open up your mouth and declare today, I no longer accept the unacceptable, I promise you things will start shifting. You start declaring that I will no longer live in this place. Oh! It's the small foxes that devour. Come on, Queen, that destroys the vine. Queens, when I say I stayed at the altar for years, woe is me. Not knowing how to use what I had to walk in my power and my authority. Didn't know I had a mouth to speak. Don't start none, won't be none. So instead of opening up my mouth, I kept accepting the unacceptable. A brand new life with a brand new home. Don't you start now with a whole. Don't start none, Jackie. Woo! He started renewing that mind. You start renewing that mind, you're gonna feel like you're on a whole new life with a brand new home. That's real talk. When he start renewing your mind and transforming you from the inside out, not from the outside in. I'm saying, Queen, when you start changing your sound and changing your language, and say, listen to me, he's died so I'll be free, that I'll live an abundant life. Sat on the pew for years. Watch the church gets. You know what? Let me get up. Let me get up over here. Let me have this morning. Whoa! Sometimes I feel like I was in the road show. Do you hear me? Sitting in church, I feel like I'm in the road show, getting on a circus on a circus ride, telling everybody else how to. I am not the clown. This is not a rodeo show. Oh, you got to be intentional. Empowering everyone else and losing your own. No, this ain't the road. This ain't. No, I'm not Homie the Clown. There's a moment where you're gonna have to decide. You can even when you start praying against those things. You start praying against those things. You start praying against those things. Do you hear me? You start praying against those things. Woo! I used to put them up on my board. They used to get torn down. And I'll keep putting them up. I was praying against those things. The things that were holding you back from being your best. We don't start none. Homie, don't play that. Don't start none, Tess. Not today and not on my watch. When you know that there is more for you, when you know that there's a plan for you, when you know there's an abundant life for you, when you know that he came to set the captives free, when you know that, listen to me, he wants your mind to be sound, he wants you to meet your appointed time and destiny, when you know that there's a set place for you, come on, you just start speaking against it. Don't start, no, it won't be none. And you just start talking against it. Real talk. And things will start shifting and moving and little rattle-tattle. You will see the snake, you'll hear him start rattling his tail. Because now you start listening, now you're speaking against, come on, the things that are operating in your atmosphere, the things that are operating, because now you understand that, God, you built me intentionally. You built me on purpose. You built me with design. You built me with intent. What? You built me. Come on, let me tell you something. And that was done before I was even born in my mother's womb. So that means that whatever I'm attached to now doesn't stop what you have in store for me. I need you to get up this morning. So that means that it was before I was in my mother's womb knit together. Come on, that was before I even put my feet on the ground. I'm going to help you this morning. You better understand and know who you are. This is real talk. Do you hear me this morning? Woo! Listen, this is real talk, because before you had children, you were already knitted. Boo, I had news for you. Before you moved into that home, it was already designed and set for you. Can I tell you? Okay, so what God has for you, this is what he says, it is for you. I'm going to help somebody today. Well, somebody said, I hear words, stand up. Somebody, you got to stand up. You got to take a stand. And your stand first is going to be in the renewing of your mind. Then you're going to take a stand in your spiritual world. I promise you. Did you hear me? You're going to take a stand in the spirit of your mind. The first shift is right there in your mind. I am who God says I am. I can do what God says I can do. I am the head and not the tail. I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Before I was in my mother's womb, there was a plan for me. Come on, listen to me. I want you to check y'all. It'll make sense after a while. You'll be like, well, why did I stay there so long? Listen, because you didn't know who you were. That's all, boo. Don't start none. We talked about it, but we want the being about it. Don't you start none. Listen, my goodness, stayed in the circus for years. Don't start start none. Went around the same wheel, butterfly colors and bad hats. Don't start none, won't be none. Do you hear me? No, 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 no. Take the hat off. This is not homie. Don't start none this morning. Had the best suits. Yeah. Woo! It's the mind that's going to shift first. Some of you catching up. Some of you right now, your body's catching up with your mind. Do you hear me? Because you said it. I believe it. Now it's when the manifestation of what's in the spirit of your mind manifests. Don't start knowing with me today. Look, oh my. I don't know. I just went to sleep last night. You got to be intentional. Real talk, Barbara. Do you hear me? You got, catch Queen. Don't stop now. Whoa! It's catching up. He said, prophesy to them bones. Speak life. Get involved on the things that you want for your life. Whatever that may be. That man in Mark yesterday, when they were taking that paralyzed man to the top of the roof because there was too many people, they couldn't get to Jesus. He knew what he wanted. Boys, I'm intentional. He was intentional. Take me to the top. Take me up to the rooftop. You got to be intentional. For 40 years. You know what? Queen, let me tell you something. Don't stop. Them 40 years, I walked around that altar like a little, you know what? And because you're sitting at the altar and you're just like, oh, woe is me, you don't feel like you're in the wilderness. Can I tell you? Don't start now. Today is a 20-minute journey. Don't you start now, Jackie. Queen, I probably did about a few years up in there, and a few decades. Whining over depression. Girl, if you don't get up and say something against that thing, if you don't get up and take hold, listen to me. Go get you what you need, some help to get so you can get to the next rank. You're going to stay there for one day, walking around that place, Jackie. I had my son in my arms, and I almost passed out. I was at a banquet, and one of my good sister friends caught my son because I was walking around in the wilderness and I was tired. On the outside, it looked well, but on the inside, it was like dead man bones. You hear me? Let me have a sip. You got to be intentional about this one, Queen. And you're rising up from the inside out, not from the outside in. If you got to deal with come on, real talk. From the inside out. How long? How long? After a while, you're going to get dizzy. You're going to get sick. Mentally, emotionally, psychologically. God, around and around and around and around. And then by the time you get off, you're so dizzy, you don't even know, like, I don't know where to go. Now you're dizzy, been in that thing. stop, get some spiritual stability. Real talk, I'm telling you. And I remember jumping off of that Ferris wheel or that wheel, getting into my right posture, building outside, building from the inside out, not the outside in. Learn how to set boundaries so I wouldn't go back on that thing. Not this one. I seen you before. I was intentional. Do you hear me? There was moments where I would lead a church. It was, no, you witchcraft, you won't. Not this one. It wasn't on your time. This one was on God's time. Did you hear me? I wasn't finna play. I'm not playing church. I'm not. It was intentional. I stepped back. I'm gonna help somebody today. This is being intentional about your life. Being intentional, operating in your peace. Queens, I was on that thing. But when I learned how to get off that Ferris wheel and start breaking them habits and them cycles and start standing up with the authority of power that God has given me that I didn't, that was that moment. This is real talk today, Queens. You couldn't make me eat that stuff again if you paid me. You hear me? It is faith over fear. That's real talk. Because they were force-feeding me. Woo! Listen. Don't start now this morning. Force-feeding me. Things that were killing me. And I'm swallowing. Depression. Oh, don't start none. Get up out. You got to get up. You got to come up. There's too much in store for you. This is real talk, Queens. But you got to be intentional about your life. Do you hear me? Don't start now. The den of thieves. Oh, don't. Listen. Stayed around that pattern for a long time. You lose yourself. You lose your identity. But God says today, I have a plan for you. Before you were even formed in your mother's womb. So in other words, they ain't even had nothing. That genealogy ain't had nothing to do with God's plan. Listen, I'm gonna help you this morning. Because some of us come out of families that we were adopted, unwanted, misused, abused. This is why he says, before you were formed in your mother's womb, I already had a plan for you. But sometimes in life we get hung up on our circumstances and make some unhealthy choices. Oh, don't start nothing, Joy. Look, Queen. Before you were formed in his womb, he had intentions for you. Whoa! Somebody, God's plan. Come on, don't start none. And sometimes if we don't understand or realize that, we'll start operating out of the spirit of rejection versus the spirit of confidence and boldness. If we don't understand that, we'll start, just refocus, Queen. You got it right. Just refocus and be intentional about it. It's like having this chisel. A chisel, you just work, you got to work it. Come on, you got to chisel the file ground. Listen to me. Then when you chisel, you probably got to dig a little bit. Be intentional. Come on, Queen. Do you hear me this morning? Be intentional even about your healing. Be intentional about your deliverance. Be intentional about getting your peace. Get intentional about standing in your right place. Be intentional about getting your mind in the right order. Be intentional about being disciplined. Matter of fact, redo it again. May say this one right here, I'm going to be faithful. This one right here, I'm going to be consistent. This one right here, whatever that thing is, I'm going to do real talk. Because a double-minded man is unstable in all of their ways. Do you hear me? Because I heard him this morning plain and clear, Queen. He said, time to be intentional. Do it on purpose. Come on, pick it apart, Queen. And that was another thing, Barbara. I realized what coming up out of that wilderness experience, it wasn't a big, it made, everything was in a melting pot. But I couldn't deal with everything like it was a piece at a time. And the first part was renewing my mind after being in a hostage situation. Let me have a sip this morning. Renewing my mind after being in religious cycles. Oh, do it on purpose. Religious cycles and traditional cycles. Oh, let me have a sip. Renewing my mind through the Word of God. This is where I learned how to lock and load. Do you hear me? Lock, load, and release. This morning you locked and loaded Psalms 139. If you didn't, you better get in it. Do you hear me? And get it for yourself. So you'll have, listen, because he'll say, out of your belly will flow rivers of living water. Queen, get it in you. It can't flow out of you unless you get it in you. You hear me? But that moment I realized I was in this wilderness and I was going, come on, a hostage situation. Come on, hostage, hostile. Listen, don't stop now. Why y'all think I'm always shooting things down? I'm from the lock low, take him out because I was in a hostage. Listen to me. No. I was in a hostage takeover, Queen. Do you hear me? I was in a hostage situation. Whoa! Lock, load, and release. Do you hear me? And make sure when you, it'll make sense after a while. He said, let this mind be in you that was also in Christ Jesus. Sound, stable, steady, vigilant, aware. Whoa, listen. Oh, you gonna loose me. I promise you. Queens, when I say it's like your language changed something. Oh, you gonna loose me. Whoa! Lock, load, and release. Oh, you gonna loose me. Because God said vengeance is his. Oh, you know. He said the weapon formed, but it ain't gonna prosper. Oh, you gonna loose me. Whether you like it or not. Whoa! Listen. But you gotta make sure you are dressed, Queen, so you hear me. Because you are now in a battle for your life that has already been won. But you got to make sure you're ready. You dressed. The helmet of salvation, the versus real talk. I was going up against anything and everything. Unafraid. Do you hear me? Didn't like the experiences, but they came with the territory. For my freedom. If you are God that breaks yokes and breaks chains, I am not. It was not intended for you to be chained and locked. Don't start now this morning. You got power to break the chain. Oh, break the chain. Don't start nothing. What he's doing in this room this morning, oh my God, the cost of the oil. Don't start nothing. It'll make sense after a while. I'm going to help somebody this morning. And how he's going to do it, Psalms 139, starting at verse 16, letting you know that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. You're going to do it by Jeremiah 29:11. There's a plan for you. Listen. Break the cycle. Break the chain and the yoke off your neck. Real talk this morning. Ooh. I remember taking off the clown suits, Queen. I'm taking these clown suits off. All that. Break the chain. Come on, Queen. I'm like David. I can't wear all that. That. Come on, break the cycle, Queen. I can't. I can't wear that. That armor ain't working for me. I need the real deal Holyfield. You hear me? Don't start now. You better break the chain, break the cycle, and be intentional about your break. Your break is your freedom break. Don't, you know what? Don't start now. And how you do it is important to God. You ain't got to be obnoxious. You ain't got to be rude. Woo! You ain't got to be none of those things. Do you hear me? You ain't even got to tell nobody what you doing in your break. Most people, when they get ready to escape, they only got about one or two they got down with them. Do you hear me? You tell too many people, you might not get loose. Let me get over here. I'm not going to fool with y'all. Oh, my break is, come on. Your freedom, Queen, real talk. You hear me? But it's what you feed the spirit of your mind according to the word of God. And where I learned to break the traditions and the religious cycles, because sometimes that stuff had you living in your hostage situations. Sunday after Sunday. Wednesday after Wednesday. Let me stop. You know what I mean. Let me, security. This is real talk this morning. Because, Queen, you got to be intentional about your break. Come on, break the chain t-shirt. Don't start on this morning. Let me get my creative pad. Oh, too many loose lips, Queens. I don't know about that loose lips, Queen. But something. For me, it wasn't the loose lips. It was more or less. How can I explain it? It just taught us to stay in the broken cycles. You know what? I'm going to leave that alone. We're going to leave that one alone. Let me write down where's my creative pad, please? Please. Please. Never told us to get out. Let me put this down here. Let me see. Let me break the chain. Break. Because I believe in this is my opinion. Well, Paul said, not as God speak, but as I speak in this moment. What's supposed to be, it will be. Promise you. Break the chain. Break the chain. Be intentional about your prison break. Be a lady in your prison break. You gotta be rude. You gotta be obnoxious. You don't have to be unseemly. Be mindful of everything that's around you and everyone. Did you hear me? Because in my prison break, I smiled every day. Come on, Queen, real talk. Every day. But I was intentional about my break. Be intentional. Let your fruits of the Spirit still operate in your break. It's real talk this morning. Because your character is on the line. You have an assignment. You have purpose. Your integrity along the way is important. Do you hear me? This is where you learn how to operate in your authority, in your mind. Come on, Queen. And power. It's real talk. You got to be intentional on this one. The prison break is in your mind. Queen, don't start now. Won't be now. Then after a while, they'll be like, No, ain't not, it's all good. Because my mind is free. And then all of a sudden, your body gonna catch up with your freedom. Don't start none. Won't be none. Do you hear me? This is why he says, write your visions down. Make them plain. Because in due time, they'll come to pass. I'm not going to fool with y'all this morning. Let me say it again. Write your vision down. Make it plain. And in due time, it'll come to pass. I'm going to help you. Come on. Queen, don't start nothing. I got to get up out of here today. I got to get on the other side. And I make sure this video do not run out. That's where I am right now. Because I am still making some alterations to because a lot of stuff that I have, I cannot delete it. That is my content. That's my content. So I got to find the right place to place my content in these pictures and these videos. I can't just go in and delete. So I got to be like, okay, this can come, that can come. And that takes time. So if I don't let this video run out, God, because somebody, and make it plain. Because even this morning, someone's stepping out of and into their plan of God. Do you hear me? And what's supposed to be, because if you do it well, what's supposed to be will be. If you do it well, I promise you. And what's supposed to go, let me have a sip, will go. As long as you do it God's way. And that's real talk. Make sure you locked and loaded this morning. Psalms 139. Go get it for yourself so you'll find out who you are, whose you are, and what God thinks about you. Not what anybody else thinks about you. Because the one that's going to matter the most is what you think about you. Let me have a sip this morning. What do you think about you? I can think what I want to think concerning you, but until you think well about you. This is real talk this morning. He said, be intentional this morning. Queen, it's a win-win. Don't start. No, let me have a sip this morning. It's a win-win. He'll even start making you think on the things that are really sometimes the most hideous. His word will even bring peace to the hideousness. Sometimes it won't even make sense. He just want to keep your heart right. Because it's personal. Keep your heart right. Be intentional. Because the battle doesn't belong to you. It belongs to God. Vengeance isn't yours. It's God's. The weapons of your warfare are not carnal, but they're mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds. Foolish, may He'll use the foolish things to confound the wise. So you hear me? He almost worked backwards. He just got us he's something else. You don't have to do anything illegal. Just operate intentionally. Woo! Listen. Real talk. Do you hear me? I don't know if this is me or I just hear something. I just hear something say, something, I don't know, something say pull the plug. I don't know. I don't know where that's coming from, so we ain't gonna mess with it. But I heard it, pull the plug. Ooh, pull the plug. Ooh, pull the plug. Because I'm not really sure who that's coming from. We're gonna say that for later because that don't sound so. Hold on. Hmm. Hmm. Ooh. I'm just making sure, Queens. I don't play. I don't like playing games. I'm not. I don't play with people's lives. No. No. Mm. Pull the plug, Queen. I know. Oof. That made me hot. I do not play games. God know you. God, you know I don't play games. This is real talk. You hear me? Energy. It's been feeding you. Whatever you plugged into, that power source been feeding you. Whether it's negative, you gotta unplug. Unplug. It's just renewing your mind in that area. What you've been feeding into. Or what's been feeding into you. Because you're not feeding into it. Something's feeding into you. When you take a cord, put it into a power, you gotta you're plugged into this, whatever, and it's feeding you. Unplug. That's being intentional. You unplug from what's hurting you. You unplug what's feeding you. That is not healthy. Can you imagine? Woo! Walking in that thing that has you hostage. And you're taking it. Unplug and be intentional. Watch your connections. Queen, that is spiritual. Ooh, not healthy. And anything unhealthy can make you sick, delusional, toxic, infected. Unplug. Ooh. Gotta unplug. And for some of you, that it's going to be difficult. But you're going to ask God to help you unplug. You're unplugged by his word of God. Do you hear me? Don't try any tricks and all that running around the world. I need to find my baby. That is not what I am talking about this morning. It is the word of God that's going to undo. Unplug. Don't start nothing, Queen. Ooh, I like that one. Ooh, unplug. This is real talk this morning. But make sure you use the word of God. Do you hear me? Go back over Psalms 139, verse 16. Do Jeremiah 29 and 11. Get there. Get in it for yourself. Get in it for yourself. Come on. Baby, this and Renee, the sword is sharp, it's quick, and it's sharper than any two-edged sword. That joker's so sharp, it knows the intent of the heart. Do you hear me? Matter of fact, going in at a cut and coming out at a heel. Do you hear me? It goes to the bone and the marrow, the soul and the spirit. Don't start on Psalms 139:16. Cut it up. Heal it up. Listen, real talk. Do you hear me? Jeremiah 29. And what's happening? He's getting ready. No, he's getting ready to unplug, uncut some things that you've been breeding. We've been breeding on and breeding. Oh, you're missing out on life. And it is never too late to live your best life. Do you hear me? Queens, listen, I thank you all. Don't start on this morning, this real talk. I was like, all I said was like, Lord, what? He said, tell them to be intentional. Did you know Christ was intentional for every move he made? Going through Samaria, I must come. At the wedding, turned the water into wine. He was intentional. Come on, listen to me. How long? Listen to me. He stayed in the Garden of Gethsemane for how long? He was intentional. Do you hear me? Do you hear me? You were made in his likeness. You were made in his image. Intentional. Oh, don't start. No. When he taught them boys on the mountain, come on, at the boys, the disciples, he was intentional. When he went and got them to search the fisher, they were fishermen. He was intentional. Come on, listen to me, because he know you won't just now. You're not going to fish for fish, but you're now going to fish for men. He was intentional. Do you hear me? Let me have a sip. This one. Be intentional. Oh! Be intentional. Even when Peter cut the soldier's ear off, he healed him. Peter, now Satan, get behind me. He was intentional. Body reset, baby, it's intentional. Matter of fact, I'm ready to get on the bus. Body reset has been off the chain. Can I tell you? It was and it is intentional. And that is real talk. If you don't know what Body Reset is, it is a platform that God has allowed me to create, to use to help reset the body, the mind, real talk, healthy. He started out with basic needs that we do every day, and that is your eating. He's taken it to a whole nother realm. Can I tell you, he really is, because it's intentional, because he says this: I pray that you be in good health even as your soul prosper. Do you hear me? Queen, he was intentional. Don't you start nothing. Don't start none, won't be none. Queen Rise Up was intentional. Don't start none, Queen. You finna make me shout up in here. You have to understand. Whoa! Listen. And sometimes my body got to catch up to the mind. Don't you start none. Queen Rise Up was intentional. This is real talk. Can I tell you? He know. Oh, let me have a sip. This one, no fool. And Queen, can I tell you, in building Queen Rise Up, I walk intentionally, because purpose, intentionally. Everything I did, everything I said, how I operated on my job, woo! Even in my home, on the good, the bad, and the ugly. 30 minutes of walking it out. It is intentional. You know, Renee, I think somebody done caught listen, you done caught the dang on thing. Don't start none. 30 minutes of walking this thing out. Oh, it's intentional. And I have this thing that I say, Queen, it'll make sense after a while. It'll make sense after a while. Just walk with me. Don't start none. Won't be none. Queens, listen, guys, I love you so much. I do. I want to take my time getting over to Body Reset. So I'm going to get up out of here this morning. Make sure you go all back over what you received today, because I want you to just look at yourself and say, my life is intentional. Come on, listen, it's intentional. I was made with purpose. I was made with the plan that I am beautiful. Come on, it's intentional. Queen, don't start now. It's intentional. It's intentional. If something is intentional, that means he intends, to use you. He intends. But don't start now. I'm going to get up out of here. So do what you do. Come on. You said if we get to the bone, listen, I'm going to leave. Look, don't start nothing, Renee. What? Leave the bones? Take the meat and leave the bones? Take the meat and leave the bones. Queens, I love you so much. I pray that you were encouraged today, that you were empowered, and that is real talk. Don't forget that you can give to Queen Rise Up and also through PayPal. And this is my thing over here, real talk. If you are on a ground that is feeding you and making you better, I don't care if it's over here on Queen Rise Up. I don't care if it's in someone else's ministry, somebody else's platform. Make sure you sow into their ministry. Do you hear me today? Because whatever you sow, that shall you also reap. And that is real talk. Do you know how many people have been a blessing to me along the way, and how I've sown into their ministries along the way? This is just real talk. Can you hear me? How their ministries blessed me to sow into their ministries along the way. Do you know how many ministries has helped me, and I've sown into their ministries along the way? Queens, I want y'all to quit fooling with me today. And so they did, and they have. And so you sow, or you purchase, or you buy. You do something because they have helped me. One of my great teachers was my boy with my Kingdom book, my boy Miles Monroe. So you buy into his ministry. This is real talk for you. I'm talking to those who's always taking, and never giving back to those who really. And now we know that our reward is greater than heaven. But I'm talking to those. Real talk. Real talk. Because your opportunity and time will come. Miles Monroe, George, they all helped me build. I ain't did this. I ain't did this. And for every church house that I am in, I give into them. But I give. Real talk. This ain't just, you know what? Let me get up out of here. So make sure you make sure you're sowing. I don't care if it's over here or someone else's table. Make sure you are sowing into their ground, because they're sowing into your life, and I promise you, you're reaping. I promise you, if you are committed, you are reaping from what's being sown. I got to get up out of here. Real talk. All I know is Queens. I am being intentional. It's my time. It's my season. You better know it for yourself when your opportunity presents itself. Whoa, listen. For every stripe, for every freedom break, because there were multiple freedom breaks. Do you hear me? Moments when I almost lost my daughter. Do you hear me? The things that we don't tell you about that we have to experience. You better. But we still come. And we do our purpose. talking about queens rise up. Real talk. But God, period. And queens, your time will come. I promise you. Your opportunities will present itself. I promise you. There's going to be moments where you're going to feel like you've been giving your all. And there's moments you're going to feel like you're going to get things in return. But you got to still keep going. Oh, I promise you. But you still got to keep going. Because purpose is greater. Period. So, guys, make sure you check out QRU's apparel line, Real Talk. Guys, I love you. Let me get up out of here for my phone run out of power before I can end this thing. But make sure you check out Queen Rise Up apparel line. Listen, God is my keeper. Make sure you check us out. These are my T-shirts. It's Fear Over Faith. You can put that on any color T-shirt you desire. Black, white, yellow, whatever you desire. And one of my favorite quotes, listen, don't stop, no, won't be none. These are T-shirts that you can purchase through QRU's apparel, Queen Rise Up apparel. I am God's Heavenly Army. Queen Rise Up, one of the ones that I even have on today, just in red. You can do the green. Listen, don't start now, won't be any. But Queens, listen, everything is accessible to you. One of my favorites, let's call on the security. And then we have the butterfly. Fearfully, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. I've added so many different apparels to the QRU's apparel line. So make sure you check me out. Any questions, you can leave a comment right here on Queen Rise Up. This has been a heavy hitter for me. The butterflies have been beautiful. So make sure you contact me. This was a customized T-shirt for one of the queens. So you can get things customized and we can talk about and work through them. So please make sure you join me over through my apparel. Leave a comment. You're welcome to comment or inbox me. I will reply to your questions for sizes and the cost of your T-shirts and your shipping and handling as well. So thank you so much for joining me here, right here on Queen Rise Up. You know how we do. Listen, I'll see you on the other side. We're getting ready to go start Zoom, where we do our body reset, talk about it, exercise about it, and we also have virtual breakfast, and then we talk about it again. That's how we do up over there. Guys, know that I love you. Be blessed. Thank you for joining me right here on Queen Rise Up. I'll see you tomorrow, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Until you and I meet again, you know how we do. Thank you for joining me on Queen Rise Up. Make sure you share, make sure you like, and make sure you follow. You can find me on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and sometimes Twitter. I got to get up out of here. Know that I love you. You guys be blessed. Until you and I